Welcome to the Superhuman Selling podcast. I have a question for you today, my friend. What if the reason that you're not hitting your goals right now isn't because you're not working hard enough, but because you're trying too hard to control the outcome? So, there's one belief that you must shift if you want to move from chasing results to creating them. And today on the show, we're going to be talking about exactly what that is. Welcome to the show. If you are listening in real time, it's fourth quarter of 2025. And so we're going to tie some of what we talk about today into how we can sometimes feel pressure or urgency around our goals and create an unnecessary sense of restriction and constriction when we're in that energy. But what I know is, regardless of when you were listening to this, it's going to resonate and it's going to land. And it's that piece that we often don't talk about when it comes to goal achievement. And it's this element of surrender and this element of letting go, which I know from all of my years in corporate selling, they absolutely did not teach this. There was nothing about surrender or letting go in it. It was control the outcome, drive, grind, micromanage the results. And from that energy, there's this energy of constriction. And like I said before, constriction leads to restriction. And so when we're in that space, it's really hard to let our results flow naturally. And so today we're going to talk about how do we tap into that blend of both intention and surrender. And like I said before, whenever you're listening to it is perfect, whether you're listening in real time as we're approaching, well, not end of fourth quarter, beginning of fourth quarter, or whenever you're listening to it. And I will also say, as I record this, my 5-month-old is asleep in the room upstairs. So I'm being a little bit quieter than I might normally be on a podcast. But I wanted to get this message to you and communicate this because this is important and this matters. And this is the piece that I don't use the word struggle because I just don't think that I don't think the energy of it is helpful, but it's the piece that I probably struggled with the most for a long time as a driven, high achieving woman who often feels like she can do all the things on her own. I know you could probably relate to that. And it's still the piece that comes up sometimes. And a lot of times, if you've done all the right things and the results aren't coming in, it's because you haven't surrendered the outcome. So, we talk a lot in my community and my programs about time and about adding, what time can do to help support you in terms of achieving your goals, but also when it can restrict you, when it can make you feel an unnecessary sense of urgency that can actually block your results. So let's dive into that a little bit here. So I am a fan of having a timeline on your goals. So let's say that if you are listening to this in real time, there's about 3 months left in the year. And I think it's helpful to have a goal that you want to achieve by the end of the year. I think that that helps you stay focused. It gives your subconscious mind a target. And timelines are completely made up, right? And Bob Proctor talked about this. He said the only thing that we do not know the gestation period of is a goal. We know it for everything else on our planet. We know it for a baby. We know it for a carrot. We know it for an oak tree. We know about how long it takes for a seed to sprout and turn into the thing it's meant to be. Everything except your goals, your ideas, and your vision. And so when we create a timeline or a target date around our results, it's made up, right? It's something that helps make it real. It's something that helps give it a bit of a sense of urgency, which again, I think is helpful because it does make it feel more real and it drives more inspired action around your results. Simultaneously, if it's putting you into panic, shutdown, overwhelm, or need energy, which is lack, then it's doing more harm than good. And so I think that this is really, really important for us to remember and to know how to play with timelines around goals and how to make them work for us versus not work for us and what to do when it's not working for you. So if you are right now in any sense of, I would say, unnecessary urgency about your goal. If you're in an energy of, I need this, like I need this launch to hit. I was speaking with someone a couple of months ago and she was like, This launch has to go well in order for me to pay my bills, right? Now, have many of us been there? Yes, absolutely. Is that the ideal energy to be in when you are entering into a launch or a sales campaign, or maybe you're just sitting down to do like your reach outs or your DMs for the day? No, it's not helpful because you're in an energy of need, you're in an energy of lack, right? Or I need to close this sale in order to pay my bills this month. Again, not helpful, not helpful. And so that frequency of need, of lack, you're creating a gap between where you are and where you want to be. That actually repels results and it makes it take way longer than is necessary. We have one of our mastermind clients who talks about this story from last year when she had closed a deal that she worked on for like 2 years, and she's in corporate B2B tech sales. And she finally closed this deal she worked on for 2 years, and it was over a six-figure commission check. And she was excited, but she was also in such an energy of like, I gotta get the money. I need the money. That these weird, crazy things were happening that weren't happening to anyone else in her organization, that was basically repelling the commission check from being deposited in her account, where like everyone else had been paid on their sales from that amount of time. But the money, there were weird glitches that were going on where like the money wasn't coming through to her yet. And so she talks about having felt that feeling of need, like, I need this, I need this. And she was checking her accounts constantly. And finally, she just surrendered it. She surrendered it. She was like, "Well, this isn't helping." She let it go. She was like, "I know it's gonna be there in the perfect timing. I know it's happening." She surrendered. She let go. What do you know? The money came in and it was done. But so when we're in that energy of, again, I need this to happen. I need to close this sale. I need the money to be in the bank. You can't receive from a constricted state. You can't receive from a constricted state. And so this is where I think diving into quantum physics and understanding that time is a construct that we use in the 3D plane to help us know when to show up for meetings, that helps us, again, give a healthy sense of urgency to our goals. Like, it is a helpful dynamic that we have in the 3D. And simultaneously, from a quantum physics standpoint, everything is happening right now. It's all happening right now. Time is actually an illusion, time is made up. And so I use this concept a lot when I'm goal setting or when I'm visioning, to realize that whatever the next level target is that I'm going for, whatever the manifestation is, whatever the sales goal or the revenue goal is, that it's actually happening right now. It's already happened right now. And that's because we remember we always create twice, right? First in your mind, in spirit forming your subconscious, then in the 3D, which is the last step of your results, the last step of your manifestation. Is just a mirror that's showing to you how you've been thinking and feeling and operating in the past. And we do generally operate in some element of time lag, meaning that from the moment I have this vision or this goal of achieving this result this quarter or this year, to the moment I experience it in the 3D, there will probably be some sort of time lag. And that's there for a reason. That's okay. That's there to help you clarify your desire. That's there often because of resistance or you thinking that it couldn't happen as quickly as it actually could. Nothing wrong with it. Time lag is there to help us. If we instantly got everything we thought about, that wouldn't be a good thing. Think about the things you've thought about that you would not prefer, that you would not love. We don't want to instantly get those. So it's there to help us clarify what we want. But we can remember that when you're goal setting, when you're visioning, that result, that version of you, that $1 million version of you, that version of you who does 3 million this quarter, or who has her first six-figure year, seven-figure year in your business, whatever your target is right now, that exists right now. From a quantum physics standpoint, it exists right now. Phenomenal book called A Happy Pocket Full of Money that you can dive into deeper, that will give you more details on how this actually works and and the quantum physics aspect of all of that. I'm not going to go into it on the show today, but the bottom line is it's all happening right now. So when we learn to set goals and connect with them from the energy of present tense, of this is already done, from that place, there's no energy of need. There's no energy of not having it. There's no separation. You see what I mean? There's no separation in that because it's already done. So you can think about something that already exists in your life, like the phone that you're listening to this podcast on or the computer that you're listening to this podcast on, like that already exists in your life in the 3D. Do you ever think about it and say, "Oh my gosh, I need," like, think about the phone in your hand right now. Do you think, "Oh my gosh, I need this phone?" No, because it's already there. You already have it. So I want you to start thinking about the goals that you're connecting with that you haven't yet experienced in the 3D, and think about the energy of, "I already have that now." From that place, there's no need, there's no lack, it just is, it just exists. So this is where the mental work and the mind work behind our goals is so, so, so important if we want to experience what a lot of people would say are quantum leaps or are results that would come in faster than a lot of people would say are possible. Again, there's multiple ways that you can achieve your goals, and you can do, like Joe Dispenza talks about, you can do the matter on matter approach of, I'm going to kind of slog through it. I'm going to set my SMART goals, which if you have been a listener of this show for any amount of time, you know, I always say, like, do not bring me into your team to teach SMART goals, because the realistic piece, the time bound piece, not a fan of. I like to really connect with what is it that I want to experience and experience now, and then we just go there. We just play from that space. We just experience it and operate and think and vibe from that space now. And we collapse timelines. So we don't want to be attached to or controlling the timeline of our goals. So again, you can force results. You can create matter on matter, which is, I'm going to do this many reach outs every day for this many months. I'm going to have this many sales conversations. I'm going to talk to this many people. I'm going to close this many, and then I'm gonna have enough money to buy this house, to pay off the credit card, to do whatever the thing is that you wanna do. Can you do it that way? Absolutely. Is it the approach that you're probably craving if you are listening to this show? No. Is it the most elevated approach to manifesting the results you want? No. So there's another way, and this is what Joe Dispenza calls energy on matter. This is where we're still taking action, but the action that might take you like 10 hours or a couple of days from an element of being disconnected from your goals and like, I gotta move my body through time and space to get to where I want, we can significantly collapse and decrease the amount of efforting involved towards your goals when we play from this space. Okay. So when we think about detachment from your goals, this is something that I used to struggle with, but I want to talk to you about it as this is an actual power move in manifesting what you want. So when we are in an energy of, I need this to happen, I need it to happen, you are attached to it, you're kind of strangling it, and the universe can't move in that energy because your energy is, it hasn't happened yet and I need it, i.e., I don't have it, right? Need means I don't have. And the universe says, yes, you don't have it. Your subconscious says, yes, you don't have it. Remember, there's elements of neuroscience and there's elements of spirituality to this as well. So, science and spirituality are two of the pillars of our brand: sales, science, and spirituality. So, when we're in that energy of need and attachment, we can't receive what it is that we want. All right. So how do you become detached from an outcome? And I think this is the trickiest thing for a lot of people. But this is also where the magic happens. You know, when you've gotten clarity on your vision and you've thought about what it is that you want, and you're connected to it and you're like, "Yes, I would love it." And then you're needing it to happen. You have to detach and you have to surrender. And how do we do that? We do that by realizing we do that a couple of different ways. And sometimes for me, I can switch it in a second. Sometimes it takes a couple of days or maybe a week or a couple weeks, depending on what it is. So, I want to always share my real world experience with you because I think we all get to work on this collectively and together. But the way that I detach from feeling like I need something is remembering that the actual outcome of what I'm wanting is a feeling state. It's not so much the thing. I think that thing is going to bring me the feeling. For example, let's say that someone really felt like they needed a partner to feel love. They were really focused on that gap. Like, I don't have a partner, I don't have a relationship. They're focused on lack. They're focused on, where is my partner? He's not here, she's not here, they're not here. You're not gonna call in and attract a partner from that energy, and when you realize that what you're actually looking for with that desire is a feeling of love, a feeling of companionship, a feeling of enoughness, a feeling of worthiness, and you decide to give that to yourself now without needing anything outside of you to change, now you're actually a vibrational match for it. That the key is you don't feel like you need it anymore, and that is when it happens. I talk about sometimes on the show, like, my first quantum leap experience of being stuck at the same financial level, low six figures for me in my sales career and then in my business, and being stuck there for over 10 years, wanting to make seven figures plus, wanting to be able to retire my husband from his job, wanting to be on the bigger stages, lead my company in a more powerful way. But it was never happening, and always, always feeling stuck, like I was struggling, etc. And it was because I was focusing on those things from an energy of lack, from an energy of unworthiness, and from an energy of, where are they? They're not here yet. Why hasn't it happened yet? So when I did what we're talking about on this podcast and the work that we do and that I teach my clients and the 10K club and the 50K club in our communities, I learned how to feel abundant before more money came in. I learned how to feel worthy before more results came in. I learned how to feel more unlimited and more free without needing anything outside of me to change. And from that place, in 6 weeks, the results that I'd been searching for over a decade came in like that, just like, boom, right there. It was there all along. That's the crazy thing. It was there all along. It was available all along. I just had to choose it, but the key was I had to drop my resistance to it, and I had to stop thinking that I needed something outside of me to shift in order to have the result that I was looking for. So I want you to think about right now, whatever your goal is for the end of this year or the end of this quarter, and think about, what is the feeling state that I am looking to experience as a result of that thing happening, right? Maybe it's like you want to more than exceed your quota in your corporate sales role. Okay, what's the feeling state that you're desiring with that? Is it a feeling of worthiness, a feeling of pride, a feeling of accomplishment? When you realize that you can create those feelings for yourself now on demand, it has nothing to do with what's happening for you in your external world, but you realize you have the ability to create those states for yourself right now without needing anything to change. From that place, now you are a vibrational match. And the law of vibration states that we all have a vibration, we all have a frequency. How do we tell what it is? For us as humans, it's our emotions, right? That's the energy and motion that's telling you what your vibrational frequency is. So we cannot attract and draw in results that feel like worthiness, abundance, overflow from a state of unworthiness, need, or lack, right? So we've got to be able to get ourselves emotionally and vibrationally there first. But the key is you can't do it from a place of, okay, when I'm there, this thing will happen and then I'll feel it. No, it's actually a gift, because the key is to learn how to feel that and cultivate that sense within yourself without anything outside of you changing. From that place of being there and holding it and feeling it and recognizing that you already have the things that you're seeking. You already are abundance. You already are worthiness. You already are love. This is what we call in the community selling from wholeness, where I don't need anything outside of me to shift in order to feel good enough, whole, worthy, abundant. It completely transforms your results. When you realize that the thing that you've been seeking, that you think you need something outside of you to happen, to feel it, it's actually all available right now, all along. And you connect with that state now. And we can do that through visualization. We do that through meditation. We do that by, if there's something that we're feeling a lot of constricted energy on, we're kind of like strangling it, we let it go. We drop it. We release it. We focus on the vibrational state. I don't need anything outside of me to change. I'm going to practice feeling this now because I realize that's actually what I've wanted all along. And I can feel happy without anything outside of me needing to change. I can feel worthy without anything outside of me needing to change. And we get the order of creation right. And we remember that your 3D world, it's just a mirror of your past thinking, feeling, and operating. So if we get caught up in the mirror, if we get caught up in the illusion, if we forget that it's just feedback, that it's just a mirror that's telling you how you were thinking and feeling about yourself in the past, then we perpetuate more of that. But if you realize, oh my gosh, I'm going to change what I see in the reflection, I'm going to change the mirror. I actually spoke about this on our last episode too. I'm going to change what I see in the mirror, but I'm going to do it by shifting my inner state first. And I'm going to use any sort of contrast to help me clarify what I want. Then we've got it right. Then it's the right order. And then from that place, we become more detached. We're like, you know, I don't actually need this thing that I think I need to feel okay, to feel worthy, to feel successful. This is why when I'm coaching sales reps who are newer in their role or entrepreneurs who are newer, we talk about go to the place with your goals accomplished. Go to the place where you've already crushed your quota. Go to the place where you've already had your $1 million year, even if you're starting off. From that place, get on your discovery calls. From that place, build your programs. From that place, take client calls. It's a very different energetic. All right. So again, Joe Dispenza talks about this balance of intention and surrender. So we don't want to be completely surrendered to the point where like I don't have any intentions. That's not what I'm talking about because some people will say, "Oh, this just means I should never have a goal or a vision that I'm pursuing." That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is have a very strong, clear intention. We need to be crystal clear on what it is that we want, what we're desiring, and simultaneously, we're surrendered to how to win, to what we're in the energy of this or something better. And we're using that goal, that target, to help ask deeper questions like, well, who's the version of me who has that? Who is the version of me who leads at that level? What sort of qualities would need to emerge in me in order for that to happen? What sort of leadership would I need to take? What sort of old habits or old limiting beliefs or thoughts would I need to drop in order to be a match for that? And you focus on becoming that version of yourself in the process. They're all teachings and things we do in our community early on when a client comes in and teach you how to do this. Then from that place, that's actually the real goal. That's the real prize. It's the evolution of your soul, of who you came here on this planet to be, of how you are wanting to evolve, of who you're wanting to step into and become. And from that place, we don't actually feel like we need the outcome anymore. And that's where we can surrender. That's where we surrender the how. That's where we say, I'm not attached to the timeline. I'm not attached to how it comes in. I always talk about in the community, clients are not source. All right. Your business is not source. Your job is not source. If we think that we need something to survive, that we need something outside of us to be okay, then we're attached. And from that place, the energy doesn't flow the way that we would desire, and things take a lot longer than they need to. So the book Ask and It's Given by Abraham Hicks talks about this. As soon as you ask for something, as soon as you desire it, as soon as you think about it, it's done. On a spiritual level, it's done. It's already created. And so all we need to do from that space is go to the place of thank you. Go to the place of preparation. Go to the place of appreciation. Go to the place of excitement. I was doing this yesterday with some of my goals, and it was like a rare, quiet moment when I was driving in the car, not totally by myself because my daughter was in the back seat, but she was asleep. And I was playing some really good vibey music. And I was just going to the place in my mind where everything that I'm calling in right now was done. And just in a place of so much thanksgiving for it because I know it actually already is done. I know it's done. I know it's done. It doesn't matter how it happens. It doesn't matter when it happens. I know it's done. And so now I'm allowing it to come to me. Now I'm allowing things to shift and move outside of me. And I'm taking the inspired actions and I'm doing the things and I'm focusing on being a vibrational match and feeling worthy to receive and seeing myself as a woman who naturally and normally does this. But I was really just in very deep gratitude and appreciation. Thank you. Thank you that this is done. Thank you that I get to impact so many lives. Thank you that there's so many women all over the world who are going to be impacted positively by this, make more money, help lead their families in more powerful ways, feel more supported than ever before. And I was in that space and that energy, and it was so beautiful. And so that's the place where like, it's already done. I don't need it outside of me to happen. So if you play with this energy, with your goals, now, I don't care whether these goals were given to you by your boss at your job or if these goals are your own created goals. Play with this. You will find that you will release attachment to needing it, and you will find that things start to flow in a lot more easily. And one final thing I'll say about goals given to you by someone else versus your own goals. So I was working with one of our mastermind members on this a few weeks ago, and she has a quota given to her by her boss in her company, but her own personal goal is like 3 times that, which I love. And she was like, "Well, what do I focus on in terms of calling in?" And I said, "100% your own target, like your own personal goal. When you do that, the company quota is taken care of. Like that's already done. That's handled. Focus on your own goal. Focus on what excites you. Focus on what lights you up. The company quota will take care of itself." And so I've got a lot of women and really cool men in our community and corporate who do this. And then their bosses come to them and they're like, "How are you creating these results? And it seems like you're doing this differently than everyone else, or it seems like it's taking less time than everyone else." And a lot of them will like smile and they don't necessarily say anything, or they'll talk about our program, our community. And the bottom line is this works whether you're in corporate selling, whether you're an entrepreneur. It works with goal setting of any kind, but it's that healthy balance of intention. I have a crystal clear intention and vision for myself, while I'm also really surrendered to the how and allowing yourself to do both and to hold both of those energies. So, with that, I hope this served you. This was something that, again, for many, many years felt like probably the hardest part for me. It's something I still, with most goals, at some point get to remind myself of the surrender piece like, whew, I've done enough. All I need to do is be clear on what I want to feel like I've already received it, and then take the inspired actions that show up, be in an energy of preparation for what I want. That's a universal law, the law of preparation, which is you start to prepare your place for the good. You prepare for the good you desire. What would I be doing if I knew this thing was already coming in? If I knew this thing was already happening, if I knew it was already done? What would I be doing? Would I be booking the trip? Would I be buying the wardrobe? Would I be celebrating with my friends? Would I be speaking about it as if it was already done? How would I be speaking about it? This one is big. How would I be thinking about it? I'd be in a space of gratitude. I'd be in a space of appreciation. So we have to, Price Pritchett talks about this in Muse Squared, suspend disbelief. You almost have to cut off your attention to the five senses, to things that you've already created. Again, those are just old creations, old manifestations. It's old news. Pay attention to what you're creating now. Put your energy in what you're creating now. Know that it's already done. And from that place, you can experience it with your senses in your 3D world a lot faster. And it's fun and it's exciting and it's beautiful. So, with that, I would love to help support you in this if this is something that you are desiring to grow in. If you are an ambitious, goal-oriented woman with big dreams and big goals, one of the things that we have available right now as I record this live is my mastermind is currently open for enrollment. So this is a place for driven, ambitious women. You are already doing pretty well in your business, like you or your sales. We've got, I'd say 50-50 women in corporate sales and entrepreneurs in this group. You want to be making significant money, high six figures, seven figures, multi seven figures beyond. And you want to be in a space, you recognize the value of proximity, you recognize the value of your environment and who you're surrounded by. And you know that a high tide lifts all ships. We were actually on a mastermind call last week where one of our members was reflecting and saying, I am so glad I'm in this group because this material, it's not coming to me in my corporate sales role. I'm hearing different things. People are in fear, they're in lack, they're in doubt, they're in scarcity. There's pressure, there's all this stuff outside of me. And so in this space, it's this beautiful, I want to say, it's this beautiful container that will allow you to achieve next level goals, but in a very different energy than you've probably ever done before, or maybe an amplification of some things you've already started to learn and practice when it comes to feminine energy, wealth energetics, spirituality, and business. So we infuse all of that neural reprogramming. We let it be easier than ever before. We unapologetically claim what we want. I'm a mom of 3 kids, 5 and under, and I'm running a multi-million dollar business. The women in this mastermind, in this group, are all going for big goals, big dreams, big visions, but they want to do it in a different way than they've been taught was possible before. They want to do it in a way that feels good to them, that doesn't feel so hard or like it has to take so long as maybe they've been taught it has to be in the past. And so we're very specific and intentional about who's in this mastermind. But if you're kind of done like looking outside of you and comparing and thinking, oh my gosh, I can't have it all. Like maybe I want to have a really successful $1 million, multi-million dollar business. Maybe you want a speaking career. Maybe you want to write books. Maybe you want to, again, be top of your corporate sales, um, top of your corporate sales role. And you want to maybe be a mom, travel the world, have an amazing lifestyle, and do things your way, sell in a way that feels good to you, build your business in a way that feels good to you. And you want to tie in wealth energetics, feminine energy principles, spirituality into what you're doing, this is the container for you. And so if you go to elisearcher.com/free call, you can apply for a call, talk with myself or the team about the mastermind. We'll see if it's a good fit. And we will go from there. But I'd love to help support you in there. So reach out. You can also send me a DM. I'm at Elyse Archer on all social and happy to connect and talk about your goals, your vision, your dream, and how we can help support you. So with that, my friend, I trust this spoke to you and love to hear your biggest takeaway. Again, tag me on social at Elyse Archer. Let me know what showed up for you with it. Send me a DM, comment on the post where we share this. And I want to remind you as we close out to remember to trust yourself on your path to success. Remember that your desires are green lights leading you and everyone around you to a brighter future. I'll see you on our next episode.